Steve Nash, when I think of Steve Nash, who announced his retirement last week, had the official press conference earlier today, I think of someone as unique, which you can't say about many NBA players. There's just no one else who played quite like Steve Nash. What are your thoughts now that it's all over?
Well, they mentioned something. Yes, and that's what I think about Steve. Steve was a great ambassador for the game. He's a great player. I played him 2 years in Phoenix, and he's a true definition of a great player. He looks for everybody else. He makes everybody else better. A lot of those guys you won't remember after they left Steve, like Raja Bell. After he left Steve, he kind of went under the rug a little bit, but he made guys play at a different level, and people don't really remember this Steve Nash when he was with Dallas. This is Steve Nash they remember when he played with Phoenix. He brought Amari's game to a different level, and he always made the great pass. I wish I was a couple of years younger when I played with him.
It's kind of a revolutionary time when he arrived in Phoenix with Mike D'Antoni, and they never quite made it over the hump and into the finals, but they played differently than anybody else was playing at the time.
Absolutely, and I think he's a guy that, for a 2-3 year period of time, he had a run in this league as a point guard that, no one has ever really had in terms of the numbers that he was putting up and the way he was playing the position. He was dominant at the position for those couple of years, and definitely first ballot Hall of Fame. But what I remember him most for is just his community activism away from the floor.
Never afraid to speak his mind.
Yeah, and he was always a humanitarian. He was always an activist. So the way he conducted himself out on the floor, he also stood for equal rights outside of the playing arena, which was big.
He has always been willing to express those opinions. And by the way, he cited you as one of his role models for playing the position of point guard. This is from the Players Tribune. I looked at my hero, Isaiah Thomas, and thought to myself, okay, I'm nowhere near the player he is, but if I get better every day for 5 or 10 years, why can't I be as good as him? He was looking to your game.
Well, you're always honored when someone, speaks that highly of you. And the legacy that Steve has left, I saw a tweet from Steph Curry when he said he looked up to Steve Nash in the way he played. So to leave that lineage and to have that, continue on throughout the point guard position is great for all of us. And, we got some guys who are playing the point guard position extremely well right now.
And for me, I had a chance to see a young Steve Nash in Phoenix Shaq when he was playing behind Kevin Johnson and Jason Kidd. So he would sit there and get before every practice and before every game, get shots in, watch film. He said, one day I'm going to be a starter and I'm going to be ready. So I got to see that Steve Nash that was waiting for his opportunity, worked hard every day in practice, and when it came, he took full advantage of it.
An amazing story, too. A Canadian from a relatively small school, Santa Clara, comes up, not a starter immediately, and winds up a future Hall of Famer after 18 seasons, a couple of MVPs, 8 NBA All-Star selections.
What's wrong, Shaq? What MVPs, Joe?
Some might argue he only should have gotten one, but I think I know one of those people.
There's static in my microphone.
And third all-time in assists. And Russell Westbrook looks at Steve Nash and says, I don't want to play anything like that guy. I want to play completely different in my own way.
Yes.
Yeah. And he's setting the standard for a different kind of guard. Derrick Rose, I thought when he was healthy, he played with a certain type of ferocity and he played with a certain type of, I just call it gangster.
Can you say that on the air, sir?
Yeah. And now, Westbrook plays with that Mike Tyson ferocity, that type of gangster attitude where he comes to the arena and he's like, hey, look, I'm here to win. I'm taking what you got and you can't stop me.